I heard this very nice story recently, which very special to me because it actually reminds me a lot about my own story. So it was about a young man who was on the verge of seeing all of his dreams come true. He was in his 20s and about to sign a major record deal. He was a good singer and it all clicked and his band was about to go public, as we say. He was going to be famous with the best-selling albums, and happened to be at that exact point in his life, he wound up by a string of events sitting in a class, a Torah class, a class about Judaism. And to his good fortune, the ideas resonated in him, and he felt there's no other emes but this. There is no other truth but what I'm hearing now. And he realized that if this is all true, then it's hard for me to go back and give my life over to becoming a famous singer, when ultimately I was born for another purpose. Now, I was in a similar situation once upon a time, maybe once upon a long time ago. I was pursuing a career in filmmaking, film writing, and I had a choice to make. Hollywood or yeshiva. I guess you could say I didn't choose Hollywood in the end. It's a difficult choice to make, a very difficult choice to make. The truth is, as amazing as his accomplishment was, and perhaps the difficulties that I had to overcome in order to choose the path of Judaism, really there's a million stories like us out there. There's so many people today that are seeing the truth and coming to the path of Torah. And ultimately, I think the story that really, captures the entire idea really goes all the way back to what we call the great Rabbi Eliezer. He was also a young man living in the times of the Tanaim. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai was the head of the Academy of Learning then in Yavne. And he was the son of one of the richest people in the world. And he was working in the family business. And he felt empty. So his father asked him, "What's wrong? You don't like this job? We'll give you another job." He was a billionaire, so to speak. He said, "Abba, Father, I'm empty because I want to go and learn Hashem's Torah." Now, his father was a businessman, and to me it seems like he gave him the best practical, loving, fatherly advice from a business perspective. He said, "Son, if you really love Torah, then my advice to you is this. You are already in your mid-20s. It's too late for you to become a Torah scholar. I mean, you have to start that when you're young. If you love Torah, you will teach your children and support them, and they will become Torah scholars. You have an opportunity with your family situation to be so rich and so wealthy that you could support a lot of people's Torah success. But it's not a good business move for you to do an about face and forget all of what you have in front of you, all the resources, and run, recklessly in the pursuit of Torah. If you love Torah, you can accomplish a lot for Torah by staying in business. But of course, there's business advice, and then there's what the heart feels. And of course, his heart was devoted to wanting to learn Torah. Nothing could get that out of his mind. So eventually, he just ran away and went to Yavne to learn Torah from the great Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. As time went on, his brothers, told his father, this Eliezer ran off. He's not helping the family business. He doesn't deserve a part of the business like we all do. And the father agreed and said, "Okay, I'm going to go to Yavne, to Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, and I'm going to write Eliezer out of my will, so he won't inherit any of the wealth, you all will." And on that day that he went to visit, happened to be a day that there was a great celebration. And of course, they sat him at the front of in a very honorable place. And Rabbi Yochanan, realizing that was Rabbi Eliezer's father, invited Rabbi Eliezer to speak. And when Rabbi Eliezer spoke, it says that his face lit up like Moshe Rabbeinu. It was an unbelievable presentation of wisdom. And his father, watching him, was so impressed. And at the end of the talk, Rabbi Yochanan said, "Fortunate is Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov that you come from them." And then, of course, it became known to his father, Horkanus, that was his son, and he was so happy to see that unbelievable what his son accomplished, beyond what could be expected from anyone. And he said, you know, your brothers sent me here to disown you, but instead I'm disowning them, I'm giving it all to you. That was the end of that story. Now, the unbelievable self-sacrifice of Rabbi Eliezer, you know, didn't go to waste. Besides, of course, him becoming one of the greatest teachers of Torah, his contemporaries called him the great Rabbi Eliezer. You know, not everybody can become so great, and especially in their own lifetime be accepted and respected by their contemporaries as great. But the ultimate sacrifice of giving it all up, he eventually accomplished the ultimate reward in becoming great in what he loved, Torah. Now, for me, this story is very special because, again, at about 25 years old, I decided to do an about-face, drop it all, and pursue a new life. And I'm one of thousands. Now, but in that decision, it's not easy. You know, there are many people and many situations that are hard to pull yourself out of. Almost impossible. You know, some people decide, okay, you know, I'll give 10%, I'll give 20%, I'll give 50%. But ultimately, when we see the emes for what it truly is, so there's no other way to be in life but to be 100% with Hashem. How can a person say, I want to be 50% with Hashem and 50% without? And sometimes when you make the ultimate sacrifice, you get the ultimate true life in return. And so a choice for Torah and a choice for Hashem, that is a choice for true and ultimate greatness. Greatness in this world and greatness in the world to come. There's an interesting story that's somewhat related to this topic. There was a wealthy Jewish businessman that supported many Torah institutions. And he had heard the famous idea from Rav Chaim of Volozhin that when you support Torah learning, so all that Torah that's learned becomes yours. This is learned from an incident where in the yeshiva of Rav Chaim of Volozhin there was a difficult sugya, a difficult part of Gemara that nobody was coming up with an answer. And then that night, a person that was supporting the yeshiva came to Rav Chaim from Volozhin and told him the answer. And he wasn't a particular scholar, he was a supporter of Torah. And it became clear from that incident that all the Torah that he supported when he passed away and went to heaven was his. And therefore he was a tremendous scholar in heaven because he supported all that Torah. So this rich Jewish man that was donating a lot of money to the Torah institutions knew that story. So he came to one of the great Gedolim, one of the great rabbis of the last generation and said, you know, I got the best deal over here. I'm going to be the biggest chacham in Shemayim. All the Torah that I'm supporting is mine. So what do you have better than I have? And the rabbi answered him, what we have, those that choose to learn Hashem's Torah in this lifetime, have this world. In the next world, everybody can have the beauty of Torah. But those that give up the temptations and all of the other pursuits and devote their life to Hashem and to Hashem's Torah get the greatest gift in this world. There's nothing greater than closeness to Hashem. You know, David HaMelech says in Tehillim that the Torah is greater than all of the wealth, the gold and the silver and the riches. There's nothing more precious and more valuable than Torah. The Or Chaim HaKadosh in his commentary on Chumash says like this, unbelievable idea. He says that Hashem hid the beauty of Torah to our eyes. We don't see the true glory and beauty of Torah. He made it concealed for a reason. Because only those that dig and push and fight and only those that make the sacrifice let everything else go and choose Hashem's Torah. Like the great rabbis and the great stories we have over the ages. But he said that if Hashem would uncover that blindfold that we all have and show the true beauty and the true depth and value of Torah, he said the entire world would stop what they're doing and run after only Torah. They wouldn't have any other interest in the world except the interest of Torah. But Hashem hides all that beauty. You know who finds it? Those that push and dig and make the sacrifice for the Torah, so then the Torah shows its beauty to them. And of course, there's no one that would ever regret that decision. When Hashem shows you the real beauty in Torah, you don't want anything else. And it doesn't mean giving up this world. It means getting the real world that is here. You know, when you have a life of Torah, you have the best peaceful, tranquil life. You have blessing in everything you touch. You know, you can go to a home where Torah is their foundation. They might not have the fanciest chairs and tables, but if you look in the eyes of the children, they have a peacefulness. They look happy, and they behave well, and they're a real beautiful sight. You know, it's a magical potion that cures all problems, is Hashem's Torah, if we believe in it and we live by it, truthfully, and are willing to make that sacrifice, following in the footsteps of those great rabbis and those great examples. And we should all merit to have all the blessings that the Torah promises us. B'meher b'yameinu.